If you're just someone who's a high achiever and you're working to improve on a skill set, or you're working to polish something in your job or your career path, or just who you are as a person, or maybe you're just trying to improve in your family life and how you show up as a wife or as a husband, right? You're trying to improve something. It's going to take your time and your energy away from other relationships. Particularly, we're focusing on friendships, because I don't care what age you are, friendships are going to be important. And honestly, when I was working as a GNA, geriatric nurse assistant, it was very evident that people who had friendships, they were healthier. Cognitively, they were a lot healthier than those who did not make those very important connections with people and comrades and just peers that they could grow old with and grow with and do life with. It's very, very important, not just for your brain, because it stimulates your brain and helps those neurons continue to stay strong as you get older and as just natural cognitive decline happens, but it's also important for reducing your risk to depression and suicidality. A lot of people don't realize suicidal ideation is actually very high in the geriatric population, right? And so having meaningful friendships and connections can be really powerful, and it can be a protective factor as you're getting older. So starting now, I hate when people say, oh, if you don't make friends in high school and college, then you're not going to have friends. You're not going to have lifelong friends. That's not true. My closest friends that I have now, I actually met them after high school. I'm actually not close to anyone that I knew. And I'm not close friends with anyone that I knew from high school, and none from college. Well, at least none from undergrad. I have one friend from grad school that I'm super close with, but a lot of my friendships have been outside of grad school. Outside of like that high school college phase, right? And I'm continuing to develop new connections with people, and that's a good thing. And so I don't want you to feel like if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s that, oh, it's over for me, I'm not going to make friends. You can still make friends. Yes, it may require you to put yourself out there a little bit more. You can't just, that God's not going to drop them at your doorstep. You might need to, I know traditionally with Christians, we always say, join a small group. It might be that. It might be joining a skate club. It might be joining a pottery class. There are some amazing people that I met from just joining like different class and activities that I'm interested in, like pottery, or just like painting or craftsmanship. Like there are so many things, or hiking, joining a hiking group. There is something that I really want to do. So for those of you who are really big on like boats and water, like me, I love the ocean. If I could live in the ocean, I absolutely would without hesitation. The Lord knows I would. There are literally, like, just Google it because I can't think of all of the exact names right now. But there are like yacht trips that you can go on with other people, like strategically with strangers, and get to know other people and develop friendships. There are a lot of like pubs and little like corner restaurants and like small like lounges. They do events for people to come together of certain age groups and to get to know each other and to network and connect. So you have these opportunities regardless of your age to make some meaningful connections and to develop these friendships if you feel like you don't have them. Now, once you have them, and for those of you who already have them, stewarding them while you are still developing into who God is calling you to be, and while you are still becoming all that God has gifted you to be and purposed you to do in the earth, there are some important conversations that you need to have. And that's actually my first point, is communicate the change. So when you're going through this change, communicate it to those friends, okay? Say, hey, I'm going to be a little bit less available going into these next couple of months because I'm working on XYZ project. So I know we are usually planning to hang out every weekend. It might be one weekend out of the month for a while. It might be that we don't actually meet up in person, but we'll still text or we'll still call, right? Depending on what you're going through and what you're focusing in on for this period of time, it might require a different level of focus and intentionality for you, whether that is your business or your goal that you're working towards, or maybe if it's something that is a little bit more personal, such as in your relationship and your marriage is really going through it and you need to focus all of your spare time on developing your marriage and having those one-on-one dates and going to therapy with your spouse and so on and so forth. Then if you need to do that, do that. But communicate the change and say, hey, I know every Saturday and Sunday we do boys' night, but for the next couple of months, I got to rock it out with my wife because we're trying to, navigate this change since having the baby, or navigate this change since the kids, moved out of the house, whatever that might be. Communicate the change, because when you communicate, it removes all opportunities for misinformation and for assumptions. Because if you don't communicate the change that's happening, what people naturally do is, I did something wrong. I said something and they're mad at me. That's why they don't want to spend time with me. Or that's why, or they switching up, they changing up on, that's why they don't want to go out no more. Or that's why they're not hanging out. If you communicate at the forefront, like, hey, this was going on. This is how I'm about to be moving for a little bit so that I can accomplish this. I still care about you. We still boys. We still, homegirls, whatever it is. I still love you. Still care about you. If you need me, you can still reach out to me. However, this, as far as my spare time, as far as my availability and my energy or my focus or my boundaries, this is what I need to do for a period of time, right? And communicate when that time changes or what changes, right? So that as you're communicating, you're keeping that relationship open, you're keeping it healthy, and you're eliminating opportunities for assumptions and people to jump to conclusions that are just not true, right? So we don't need any of that drama.